Hold on a second. All right. I think I didn't screw it up more. Live chat. I don't know if I broke this. Whoever comes in first, give me a 5x5. Man, I just saw the weirdest shit. The thing. All right. I'm not even sure how to start this. So, I've been working with my teammates. Hey, Vision, what's going on? Come on. That's a lady with like 4 teenagers coming out of Starbucks, and she was totally distracted. I'm like, you know what? I will forgive you for cutting me off on the line because you have 4 teenagers, a little gaggle of chickens in there. Anyway, what's going on, Trent? Oh, and everybody, 4 Horsemen tonight. Don't forget, on Livingston's channel. Not mine. I was last week, and I think Vision was week before. Hey, Ohio. Hey, everybody. Hey, Dan. So I had to run to the grocery store this morning. I'm working remote because a lot of my teammates are on vacation for the summer, including my local teammates. So I'm the only guy in my role right now between like Dallas and Denver, like that whole middle swath of America. It's just me. So anything comes up, it hits me. And I told my boss, look, it'll be a lot easier in my life if I just work from the house. And because I got 3 screens, I got Wi-Fi and, you know, fiber optic. And if you need me, I'll come in for meetings. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Because, you know, I got my headsets. I can work remote. Not a big deal. And I had a break. I went to get something for dinner. And I'm coming back, and one of my neighbors is an older woman, and she has what looks like her grandson. Y'all, this child... And the woman, you know, you get older, you gain weight. She looked fine. She looked like a normal older woman. The kid looked like a Teletubby. I don't know. It's a terrible thing to say. And when I say that, I don't mean that in a funny way. I say that in a, oh my God, this kid's well-being and health is in jeopardy. Someone crashed into her Starbucks. Oh, look at this Antifa going across the highway on an electric scooter. And he made it. All right, I'm impressed, dude. I thought he was going to get hit by that pickup behind me. Anyway, sorry, God bless my sinuses today. Anyway, this kid did not look right. The boy, and I don't know why they do this. They put an overly tight shirt. This kid was probably, his face looked 7. What does a normal 7-year-old kid look like? Weigh on average, maybe 50 pounds. I don't know. I don't remember. This kid had to have weighed closer to 100 pounds. He might have been an Antifa speed bump. We don't know. He literally had the all black clothing with the black mask. Now, to be fair, he could also be like an employee at a restaurant. So I don't want to, you know, run over the restaurants. Hey, Teresa. So anywho, this kid, it looks like the old lady was going for her morning walk. And I do see her in the mornings. And she brought this kid with her. Okay, you know how Kim Jong-un looks? Like, he looks like swollen? That's what this kid looks like. He looked like a little Latino Kim Jong-un. And the kid was waddling. The woman was walking normally. And she's older than me. She's probably closing, just from the look of her, maybe 70s. Late 60s, so she's not a young person. And she was walking fine, right? She was normal. And this kid was like, and he was making these faces, and I thought the kid was like sick or something. And I stopped because I had to make a right turn, and I offered to let them go, and she waved me through, so I made the right into the subdivision. And I look in the rear view because I'm like, maybe she needs help. And the kid just throws himself on the ground, and she's like, get up, like she's giving him orders. And he's saying no. He didn't want to go for a walk. And I put this together looking at this kid. He wasn't like having a heart attack or anything. He just didn't want to exert. I kid you not, this kid looked like he was 40 pounds overweight. And there's something wrong. The other day I went into a Target And there was a kid, maybe 12, tall kid, he was a big boy. And why are you up my butt? There's literally a bus in front of me, lady. There's nowhere I can go. You can go around and hit the bus. Anyway, this doofus lady behind me. There we go. Now we have an extra lane. And this kid had a headset and his phone. This kid did not look up. He literally walked. We were at Costco. We have the new Costco out here, and he walked into a display, completely oblivious, and then looks up, goes, he like grunts, and then he just turns like a robot. You ever seen a Roomba or the shark vacuum? It hits a chair and it goes, and then it just turns and goes the other way. That's what the kid did. And I'm like, this fool has no perception. And it's weird that these two things happened this week, because I'd read an article Saturday or Sunday that there's this thing called the Gen Z stare, where you talk to these teenagers and they're just emotionless, like, and you know, you go say, hey, good morning, how are you? And they're like, and they just look at you like they don't have any social skills. This is a Rona thing. Like, this whole group of kids was shut down, and they were on the internet doing shit, and they don't know how to interact. Hey, Hudson, they don't know how to interact with other human beings. Like, the shit I'm seeing is so freaking weird. Is anyone else seeing this? Is this just me? And I'm seeing this in different places. Like, hey Nick, hey Billy, I've gone to Houston, I've gone to Dallas. We went to New Mexico the other day, and we're out in the country, right? But they don't, unless it's through a device. Okay, yeah, so it's a device thing. And you know, I'm so blessed that my kids, the two that have children, are very hands-on with the kids, right? So like, my daughter-in-law is just phenomenal, because she's homeschooling our granddaughter, who at 17 months can say the alphabet. And I'll see her with other kids, and then her cousin grew up on a farm, right? And he's a little blonde boy, and he's got this long hair. He looks like a heathen. He looks like a little Viking, honest to God. And those two will fight in the dirt. And my granddaughter's very prissy. She's like, nah, you know, she likes clean. And then he makes her mad, and she'll run after him and try and smack him. And I'm like, oh, you've got the Latina temper inside that little blonde hair, don't you? You got some of your grandma, and I told my wife that. I'm like, that's you. That I'm going to go smack someone for no reason because they annoyed me, that's you. And my wife laughed because she knows it's true. But I look at them and the way they're being raised. She couldn't say one word to anyone. What the hell? Okay, when I took my kids to Whataburger, my daughter was just being a toot, you know, she was going through the 15, 16-year-old, I'm going to be a shit to dad phase. And she's like, I didn't eat lunch. And I'm like, fine, I'll take you to Whataburger. I pulled up, I rolled down the window, and I said, order. And she goes, what? I'm like, girl, you're 15. You need to order your own shit. The guy starts laughing. So she's like, I don't know what to order. I said, you just said you were hungry, right? I forced my kid out of that box. I'm like, no, you're going to order. And you know, my sons, one was very shy. And so every year, he had to pick his Valentine's sweetheart, both boys. And they got 3 stuffed animals and 3 of their girlfriends, right? Because they were little kids. He had to go to the door, knock on the door, introduce himself, and then give the gift to the little girl with the parents' permission. I made him go through the whole thing. Hi, sir, my name is, and I'm here to give a Valentine's gift to your daughter. May I see her, please? And my wife used to be insistent on this, forcing them out of the box. When we go to a restaurant, we made them order their own shit. As soon as they were old enough to verbalize it, even if they said it wrong. And we have like young adults right now, they don't function. They can't write cursive. Their handwriting in print is atrocious. It looks like hieroglyphs. And they can't socialize. They can't communicate verbally. Like, it's not just me, right? Because this scares the hell out of me, because you know, we're all going to get older, and then this generation will become the young adults, and what if then there's an emergency? And I'm trying to convey instruction to a person who's got self-imposed dementedness. Is it me? Is there something in the water? I know, Dan. So you know how I got my kids to learn how to write? Whenever they got grounded, I would unground them. So if they got grounded, it was a minimum 3-day grounding, whatever day I decided. And that was phone, computers, internet, everything. And I said, after the first day, if you write me an essay explaining why it's important for you to not do what you did stupid, I'll remove your grounding. And they had to write at least 2 paragraphs. And I said, it has to be correct paragraphs, and it can't be incoherent shit. All right? If you do like what the kid did in the movie A Christmas Story, I would like a Red Ryder BB rifle because it's awesome. No, I'm going to hit you with the paper. We don't do that. And so my kids actually learned to communicate, because I would I guess I tormented them a little bit, but I'd force them out of that box. People don't challenge their kids anymore. It's like 2 extremes. They're either these little like iPad monsters, or they're Vikings. Like they're the kids who are out in the woods running around with lizards in their hands chasing. Like, what have we taught this generation? Like, there were some life skills that were just passed on years after years. Well, right, Dan, exactly. It's super concerning to me. And it's not just the handwriting, it's the whole package. And then I feel bad because every now and then we'll get teenagers and college kids and high school kids in my chats. Or they'll comment, like, especially on TikTok. And they're like, I'm a teenager and I listened to something you said and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this. Oh, I made a video on TikTok about having a manual can opener. I'm like, what if there's a blackout and there's a flood and now you can't get out and you have canned food and you can't open it? And this teenager I just got my first apartment. I'm 19 or 20. I got his first job. He's like, I didn't even think of that. I'm going to Walmart right now. We're not teaching them. Where are their parents? Are their parents suffering from something? Honey, you're blocking. Come on. Okay, and that's part of the reason why just doofus people like that. Oh. So she gets into the entrance of the parking garage and stops diagonally and starts texting people. I'm like, that's not where you text. You should have texted from your spot, stupid. Now nobody can get in and out. I'm kind of worried, you know, I'm honest to God, I'm really concerned that a lot of these young adults coming out now, they don't know what to do. Like, hey, I blame for not having a show 20 years. You know what? That's funny because I've seen that mentality a few times where they're like, well, you didn't teach me. Nobody taught us this. But yeah, it's just weird. It's like the parents, I don't know where the parents are. Sometimes the parents are equally stupid. But yeah, you know, when these young ones actually want to learn something, I try and engage them. Like, yeah, you know, you need to go buy a $2 can opener. 4 $5 bills for a 1635 order, and they blanked out. Oh God. Kane, I want to put that grill guard in the front and I can do mini pit maneuvers to stupid people. Just dunk. I don't think the police would be fans of me doing such things, but it would be funny. I'll tell you that. All I can do for my part, and I guess we all can, is if you see a younger person, when I say younger, I mean, you know, say under 25, especially the very young ones, like high school, just starting college, and they seem clueless, try to teach them something. I mean, you may not be able to reach a lot of them, but good Lord, is on the right. My 2500 gas is on the right. But it's just, they are very effective. I used to, so I decided, me and some guys, we were at a golf scramble. So if you've never played golf, I don't play golf very much at all. Basically, it's a 4-person team, and whoever does the best, you just go to his ball. Because mine always wound up in the bushes, or I'd hit a coyote or some shit. And then the boys got drunk, because apparently that's what you do when you golf. And one of them decided to pit maneuver the other cart with his cart and put them in the duck pond. And at least one tire. So then all 9 idiots had to get out, because we had 2 teams plus a stray idiot, and we had to try and physically pull this cart out of the water before we got charged for it. So, yeah, don't pit maneuver your friends in golf carts. That's not cool. Or you'll pay for a golf cart, and those are expensive. I tell you that right now. But in any case, the dumb shit people do. And you know, this happens so fast. It's like by the time I got to video this, it's already over. And then it's like, yeah, I've wrecked many golf carts. Golf carts are fun, but they can be scary too. But in any case, yeah, I'm wondering, is anyone else who has younger adults in their family, are you seeing this? I don't see it with my kids, but my wife and I were very much on their ass all the time as kids to learn practical skills at home, regardless of what they were taught in school. And hi, Skydive. Is anyone else seeing this in their family or in their circle, where you have these young kids who are absolutely oblivious to things that are going on around them? Because that's concerning. Either that, or they're the opposite extreme. They're absolutely tuned into everything, and then they're freaked out because they're like, they don't know where to start. I don't know, folks. It's scary, but watching that little Kim Jong-un looking boy who threw his ass on the floor because grandma was making him walk around the block, that's why the kid's unfit. I mean, I know there are genetic disorders and thyroid and other things that people will gain weight, but a young kid that age, there's something not right. That's not, he should be out playing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm blessed that the young adults in my family are putting the kids in the mud. They're letting them play with rocks. My granddaughter apparently will walk out and tries to feed the chickens, but instead of feeding them like, you know, when you say feed the chickens, you spread the feed. No, she pelts them, because apparently that's what Viking children do. She reaches in the basket and just pelts them with the food, and the chicken's stupid, so they don't know any better. And then she turns around and pelts her cousin, and then they start fighting. My sister was a friend, had to her 2 kids instead of her parent. She is divorced, going through medical school at the time. My 2020 or 22-year-old niece is stoned most of the time. Yeah. No, if I do, I'll get an egg thrown at me, Neil. Yeah, the devices are the problem. Or I shouldn't say, the device in and of itself, it's like anything else, like a knife or a gun or a car. If it's misused, it's bad. And I think that's part of the problem is, you know, people are just like, I don't want to raise my kid. Here's an iPad. By the way, so my daughter-in-law will allow my youngest granddaughter to watch Baby Shark, right? You know, Baby Shark, yeah. And so they had come to visit, and they put Baby Shark, and it does a little dance, and you know, I was like, oh, that's fun. And my granddaughter watched it for about 10 minutes, and then she's like, and she decided to go and lay down on top of one of the corgis, and then she was eating dog food, normal little girl stuff, right? The shark was playing in the background. So I start watching Baby Shark. Baby Shark is fucked up, y'all. So the second little skit, or, you know, it was playing little cute things. Then it was like, you know, Baby Shark, do-do-do, and Grandma and Grandpa and everybody. And let's go hunt, do-do-do-do-do-do. And these sharks go running through the ocean, and all the little fish have these terrified eyes going, like little Nemos going, run away, do-do-do. And they're panicking, and the sharks are trying to eat them. And then a squid comes out and tries to chase the sharks away, and then the sharks run away, and there's a lot of like predator prey things going on in Baby Shark. And I'll be honest, I was a bit traumatized. I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be cute, and like the sharks literally just tried to kill those little crabs and fish. That's really messed up. Yeah, so if you get a chance, watch Baby Shark run away, and it's basically after they do the Baby Shark, Grandma Shark, all that, let's go hunt doo-doo, and then they go and try and kill the little fish. Maybe that's what messed up the teenagers. I don't know. That's just scary. I think I got more traumatized than my granddaughter. Lost interest in about 5 minutes. At 3, I learned to skin rabbits. Well, okay, when I was a little kid, I learned how to clean fish because my dad used to go fishing all the time. And he's like, okay, here's the scaling tool, remove the scale. Because they were the, Atlantic fish, so they had these real thick scales. And then he's like, all right, you have to take your knife here. And I was too small, so he'd show me. And then as I got older, I'd do it. But those practical life skills, a lot of these kids don't know. They don't know how to cook. The other day, I found a 16-year-old, her whole channel, because I was doing cooking videos. Yeah, Tom and Jerry was another one. Oh, you don't see that anymore. Yosemite Sam doesn't have his 6-shooters. The coyote doesn't get hit with a baseball bat anymore. Yeah, I think I'm seeing the kids whose parents force them outdoors are normal kids. And they do normal kid things, right? They do mischief. They throw dog poop at each other. They push their friends into the ditch. They go and kick their friend's chihuahua. Normal kid stuff. Half couldn't even heat water. Well, Dan, that's the thing. I'm seeing, there's one, it's just, I was following cooking videos on another platform, and this looked like a 16, 17-year-old girl came up, and she's like, this is cooking with, I don't remember her name, Emma. And today I'm going to make, I don't know what she was making, like some kind of pancake thing. And she's like, these are the ingredients you need. She did a whole freaking cooking video. She's the only person under 25 I've seen do a cooking video, like a full-length one. And I was like, damn, the kid's impressive. And she was like, yeah, if you're using a cast iron, don't use olive oil because your smoke point's low. You have to use ghee, or you have to use Crisco, and it has a higher smoke point. She's talking about the smoke points of the different oils and fats and how many minutes per side. And I'm like, okay, so she's going to survive the apocalypse. The rest of them, I don't know. I would love to see more of these kids do that instead of doing twerking or whatever the hell dance they do, or eating Tide Pods, whatever dumbass decided that was a good idea. Do cooking videos. Do photography videos. There's a drone pilot out there. There's a young Korean kid. Holy cow. And he races these damn things. And so he has a camera on his head, and he's showing his drone going through the obstacle course. And then it's a split screen, and on the other screen is the drone's view. And it's just like, it looks like a TIE fighter. Insane. Yeah. And I'd love to see more of that from these kids, but too many of them are future OnlyFans people. It makes me worry because the Cold War / World War II / Great Depression knowledge helps the gene pool get better. Might, yeah. Remove them from the gene pool. Those generations of knowledge are going away. And I don't know if these kids, if only roaming, that's bad. Better chance of someone running up and pressing ham on your driver's side. Well, yeah, pressing a ham. But it's true. It's just, hey, Kentucky. So I guess whenever I get engaged by someone I know is a younger viewer, I try to take the time to tell them something useful. even young adults, you know, again, my kids are young adults and I meet their friends and I talk to them. And I've had my daughter, for instance, call me later and say, yeah, I was talking to my friend. She's like, wow, I wish your dad was, I met your dad when I was still in high school where I could have asked him stuff to teach me, because now, you know, I'm like in my 20s and I didn't know this thing and it cost me money or it got me in trouble. And they're like, because nobody taught me anything. That breaks my heart. And you can't help them all, right? So, but yeah, okay, so it's not just me seeing this. I got tired of dumbing things down for them. Well, Kentucky, and that's the thing. They need structure, they need understanding, but they get lost in this TikTok world, and then you put them out in the real world, and they freak out. Oh man, you know, for instance, we went to Pearl Harbor. And, you know, there was some like Gen Z kids there and they're looking down and one of these kids goes, oh my God, people were in this. This is so sad. They got massacred in this boat and it's still here. It's like a skeleton of war, which is a really good way to put it. And the other kids were like, yeah. And you should see like all the gears and all their little heads turning at once. And I'm just like, well done, parents. This is the kind of stuff they need to see. Teach them when you can, you know, teach them whatever the hell you can. I'm blessed. My kids surround themselves. Hey, Conserve. They've surrounded themselves with people who are like us. So I guess I did something right. I have 3 kids. None of them wound up in a prison or addicted to something bad. Ohio, absolutely. That's all we can do. And look, as parents, right? I get it. The parents have a lot on their plates nowadays. But that's why I try to make myself available as a grandparent, especially to the couple that live the closest to us, because if it's like, hey, Loretta, they're like, hey, you know, something has happened, we need help. I can be there in 4 hours. If they called me right now and said there's an emergency, I'll go home, have an overnight bag ready, and I'll be in a hotel before dinner. Right? And it's like, you know, we've even told them when we've gone there, hey, you know what? Ladies, go to the spa. The guys are going to keep the kids. And I'll order pizza and shit. We'll have all the little cousins who are all like 2 years old now. And they'll all fight and eat pizza and bite each other and do whatever children do and play in mud. And the guys will sit there, watch a movie, we'll drink beer, we'll talk, make jokes, play with the kids. And we gave the girls a break. And then the girls came home the next day, was like, all right, guys, go. And we went to pelt each other with paintballs. And the guys got time out. And then we even told the young couples, look, you want to leave the kids here? Go out, have an appetizer and a glass of wine, and then come home. Be a couple for a couple of hours. And I think that's where family's so important. And family's been broken too. And we've talked about this on a bunch of channels. So it's heartbreaking seeing all this. Nick, that's not a wrong statement at all. That's very true. Yeah, and we had to, my wife and I, for a variety of reasons, including my job, but other reasons, we moved away from the families because there were people in the families who were a bit toxic. So we could raise them our way, but it was tough for us. And my sons, you know, my kids now are like, how the hell did you do it? You had 3 of us and y'all were young. And I'm like, yeah, it was hard. There were times, you know, it struggled financially, emotionally. The marriage struggled at times. It's just a reality. And I tell them that's why we check in with you. That's why we try to help you. That's why we offer to come over and babysit, because you guys need time and we're available. Nobody was available for us, but we're available for you. And I could see in their faces that meant something. So, but yeah, night choose. Yeah, don't even get me started on sedating your child because of being lit. If your kid's that lit late, unless they have an actual chronic illness, is because they need to go touch dirt. Forget the grass. They don't touch grass. Touch dirt. If they don't want to touch the dirt, give them a little shove, drop them in the dirt. Let them roll around a bit. Let some dogs loose to knock them down. Trust me, they'll get it. Anyway, folks, if you can help a young family or young kids or these young adults understand better, try to do it. Don't frustrate yourself if they're being little shits and they're disrespectful. All right, fine. Figure it out, kid. Make them the next pig pen. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't tell you the number of times my kids came back so nasty I had to hose them down before I could give them a bath. Like, they were banned from being in the house at all. I'm like, take your shoes off because I got to hose you down. Just leave the clothes on. I got to get the mud off. Yes, conserve dinner. I used to make a tradition. On Fridays, I would take the oldest kid who was still in the house, which you started obviously with my daughter. Friday mornings, I go and have kolaches and donuts with her, drop her at school because she went in first. Then I'd come back, or I'd go to work. When I came back in the afternoon, she was doing after school for the team. I would take the boys to Whataburger. But the kids had their designated times where it was just me and the daughter, just me and the middle son, just me and the youngest one. And it was hard. It's not easy. And, you know, my kids are now telling me, it's like, I don't know how you did it. They're like, we have one, and I'm like losing my mind. But, you know, I think us being available, them knowing we're only, you know, half a day away is a big difference. So anyway, folks, I'm going to leave you with that one. I'm going to go annoy my boss and see what other mischief I can get into. You guys be safe out there. Help someone out if you can. And it's all we can do is try. But you know what? If we can enlighten one younger person a week, we're moving the needle somehow. So you guys take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. And I will see you tonight on The Horseman, God's willing. You guys take care.